Hey everyone, it's Mobius Y here with some game replays in the Object 430 version 2 Tier 9 Russian medium tank. Been a while since I did some game replays, and normally I do these on some games that I just play in a row, and I just say good or bad, I'll share them. But in this case, these were some extra games that I recorded while playing the Object 430 version 2. That did not make it into Mediums Forever, as I already chose 4 games for Episode 4, Mediums Forever, that I wish to share. Nevertheless, they did still stand out in my mind, and I wanted to upload and share them with you guys, hopefully give you an idea of how you can play this tank well once you get to the Tier 9 medium tank in the Object 430 line. So far, this tank did nothing but really impress me. It was a lot of fun to play, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Once I got the hang of it, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was quite good. Having over 250 games in the T-54, it was easy to compare between the two, as well as compare the shortcomings of the 430 version 2 compared to the T-54, but also the strengths of the 432 over the T-54. So this first game here is on Fisherman's Bay War, and I'm actually going to be going into the town part of the map here, which is not something I usually do, especially in a medium tank. A lot of my previous gameplay, you'll probably see me going down on the 1 line, on the very western edge of the map there, going on the tape of the 1 line on this map. But because the Object 430 version 2 actually has pretty dang good armor for a medium tank of its tier, and its extreme adeptness, at side scraping, I often took this tank into city regions on certain maps. For example, the town here on Fisherman's Bay. So, at the start here, there's not going to be a heck of a lot of action that goes on, as it's largely just positioning. And I didn't want to overextend myself too far this early, as I essentially had no support here with me in the town to start off with. So I just stayed put, stayed hidden, didn't expose myself, didn't give away my concealed position right away here. And just keeping an eye on that enemy T-54. And knowing that T-54 was platooned, I expected an enemy heavy tank to be not far behind him in his platoon. So initially I spot this enemy Tiger P, so I'm trying to get a shot under these arches into the Tiger P's front. So I get a nice shot into his angled armor, which bounces, but I'm able to back off, get an easy side shot into the M103, moving into position. Unfortunately, I did take a hit there, not sure what from, but it was just a little bit over 200 alpha damage, and while continuing to fall back, I took another shot from an enemy tank in the middle for about another 240 or 230 health there. So in continuing to try to just fall back and position myself, I took one more hit from the center there. Still don't know what's shooting me. Not until it hits me in the track here, and then I realize, okay, it's the Freedom Super Pershing. He got 3 good shots into me, essentially knocking me down to less than half health. So I decided it's time to play a really defensive, fall back behind my heavies, and start side scraping and duking it out with the tanks that are here in front of me. A very aggressive Alpha Panther continues to peek out, trying to get shots on me. I was able to get a nice shot into the turret of that Tiger P there while he wasn't looking. But with the Alpha Panther continuing to peek out, I'm able to put quick shots into the top of its turret, and just barely threading the needle into the Alpha Panther's turret face, allowing me to take him out. M103 decides to come out and play, so I pop off a very poorly placed shot and just back off. I'm not exposing myself for too long, as essentially one shot from him would knock me down to about 400 health, and basically putting me one shot for a lot of tanks available in this game. Shortly after that is when the Waffle 4 gets spotted, and he plants a poorly placed shot into my tracks, essentially just tracking me. So in response, myself and the friendly Tiger in front of me start dumping some shells in him to try and knock him out of the game. Waffle 4 gets a reload off and one more shot into my tracks, so I take the hit, absorbing all the damage in my tracks, and before he can retreat, thanks to the Tiger tracking him with a well-placed shot, I'm able to put the finishing touches on that Waffle 4, taking out a very dangerous Tier 9 TD from the game. Still have my friendly heavy tanks right in front of me, a friendly Tiger and Tiger P, duking it out with this M103 and the enemy Tiger P, doing a really good job supporting the front line here. Even in bottom tier heavy tanks, I really had to give kudos to these two guys that were in front of me. They were not afraid to get in the thick of the fight there, help their team out with their armor, and get some damage out with their fairly accurate German heavy tank guns. Fortunately, the Tiger gets blasted by the M103 for his last little bit of 200 some odd health. So I decided to sit here, just continue playing defensively, and simply protect my other friendlies from getting flanked on their left side if any of these tanks decided to peek around and come around on their side. With none of them moving, I decided to move up, and I see I have the opportunity to get off a really cheeky shot on a Tiger P in the middle of the map there. Trying to get a side shot in the turret of that M103, since he's not looking, and I know the turret side is extremely weak on the M103, having played that tank myself, and I know that he's not fully upgraded. I got a little bit annoyed with this Tiger P right next to me, as he decided to just pull right in front of me when I really needed to move. This was the stage where I decided now's my time to go and take out this M103, get a nice cheeky side shot on the Tiger P, and just closing in to finish off the M103, and I ghost shell. How convenient. So knowing the enemy Tiger P and the T-54 are right behind me, I hide behind the house so they can't get a shot in my rear. But they seem quite occupied with this Tiger, who's doing an excellent job just getting in their faces, just bullying them. Got a good shot on the T-54, knocking him down to one shot. And me being much more cautious with my shot, waiting for the reticule to fully aim in and putting a shot into the T-54 to finish it off. Now seeing in the middle there's a Panther 2. I get a blind shot off. I was quite content and positive that the shot actually hit him and severely damaged him with that hit there, as I was fully aimed in, and as far as I could tell, he wasn't moving. I was going to close in on the Panther 2, as I knew he was more effective at range than I was with his much more accurate gun. But before I closed in, I only put one more shot into him, and my teammates were able to finish him off with two more quick shots into his unarmored sides. Great game had that time. 4252 damage dealt, base XP of 1570, 4 tanks knocked out. Several friendly tanks on my team also doing really stellar. STI, 2832 damage, M103, 3294 damage, M46 Patton, 1687 damage. Friendly Tigers, 1503 and 1100 damage, respectively. Just a really great game by a lot of members of that team. So the second game here, this time I am platooned, and it's a full 5-person platoon running Tier 9s. We've got Joe the Frogman, J. Rawson 14, Mistaken ID, and Lele 1079. And this winds up being a bit of a steamroll at the start of the game, but it winds up in a massive heartbreak at the end of the game, as we're just not able to clutch it out against the remaining enemy Tier 10 tanks. Really unfortunate loss here, but still a really great game that was played. So looking in, we see that we're quite middle tier. There's not a heck of a lot of 8s, and quite a few 10s, and a couple 9s on the other team, and in this game in general. So we're almost bottom tier with the few amount of Tier 8s in this game by comparison, but we're still not fazed by it. We still plan to play aggressive, head up to Ganondorf's castle up there in the E0F0 sector, fight it out there, win that hill, and see if we can flank around, get shots into the back of the enemies down Heavy Tank Alley on the Banana Road, or possibly take out their artillery, as they essentially have 3 artillery on their team. So when this game starts off, I'll simply just be heading up to the hill here. We've got, I believe, J. Rawson in an E50, Joe the Frogman in a Lorraine 40-ton, Mistaken ID in an E75, and I believe Speedy was in his T30, if I recall right. Excuse me. So pretty much all of us have a fully upgraded tier 9 for this game, except for Jay Rawson, as he was essentially grinding the E50. I can feel his pain, been there, done that. The E50 is a tough grind, especially stock. So we decided, let's play some more tier 9. It worked out for me, as I was also grinding the Object 430 version 2 at the time. I simply wanted to continue earning some XP this evening. So we got a big platoon together, had a couple people play some fully upgraded tier 9s. They didn't mind, and me and Jay Rawson simply worked on our grinds at this time. Excuse me. So, barely a minute into the game, we've already lost our scout tank, getting blasted by enemy artillery, because the M5355 is 100% balanced. That's all I'm going to say on that. So we're closing in on the Ganondorf's castle here. Nothing spotted by Joe getting in the forward position, but when me and J-Raw peek up here, we see this enemy 48 Patton playing quite aggressively. Not sure why. Bad shot by the bad shot placement by the Patton only tracks me. And me and J-Raw are able to get 2 more shots back, answering in kind. Patton rushes his shot, shooting the rubble pile, allowing us to fire back at him nice and quickly, get some good shots on him. And that's when I realized he's not fully upgraded, so we're just going to bully him. Joe the Frogman swings around, pops a quick shot into him, and takes him out. Unfortunate for that Patton, really quick game for him. Not entirely their fault, overextending themselves, as they did have no support. Aside from 95E2, that still hasn't crested the hill, as well as a GW Tiger artillery piece. So, in taking out the artillery, me and the rest of the boys here just start bullying this T95E2. Jay Rawson unfortunately gets taken out by the T95E2, Tier 8 United States premium tank. But we were able to quickly avenge him. So coming around, I know where the Waffle is, as that was the one tank I was watching out for. It's their team's only TD, so in seeing that the Waffle is not behind the heavies protecting their rears, or essentially could be protecting their rears, I start planting shots on this IS-7 that has been down here in Heavy Tank Alley for the vast majority of the game. Putting a good shot in the IS-7's rear, and just trying to reload to get another shot off, and the friendly 48 Patton winds up parking right in front of me. So I decided it's time for me to reposition. I'm going to try and pull forward, face off against the M103 in a second here. M103 playing very defensively, knowing that he's a fair bit outgunned here. And just before I move up, I see the E5 pull forward, got a nice side shot into him there. I was hoping to ammo rack him, but I wasn't able to land a proper shot into the upper hull just beneath the turret there, so I had to settle for a simple damaging shot. So when starting to hit the heavies in the back, a lot of their top tier heavies decided they're going to turn around and start taking us on. The M103 completely repositioned on us, getting right in front of me in the 48 Patton. So I pull forward, knowing I'm full health. I decide I'm going to start just kind of bullying this M103. M103 bounces a shell off of my strong turret, and the heavy behind me misses, shooting his friendly M103. So I turn my front towards the enemies that are still in front of me, but still focusing my attention on the M103, bouncing a really nice getting a really nice lucky bounce off the mouse there, getting the M103 to shoot my tracks so that my tracks absorb a big hit there. But one more shot from the E5 ends up taking half my health. Mouse pens me one more time, knocking me down to one shot, so I decide I'm going to load up some heat. We're going to start double teaming or triple teaming this mouse here, trying to whittle him down. Lele is able to swing out behind the E5, taking him out, so that takes out a gun from us. And I decide I'm going to side scrape out and get a pot shot here on this mouse, but the mouse puts a good shot into the front of my hull. I was not side scraping at a good angle at that point, and he was able to easily just blast me into oblivion. So, with that happening, our team just started to collapse by that point, and we were unable to hold on to our advantage at that game with the enemy Waffle and E75 closing off that game. Myself finishing with 3,377 damage dealt, 820 base XP, even a loss. Not too bad. I wasn't too upset by that one, as I'd done my damage, and my platoon had a pretty good game overall. This third game here is on Highway, and I am platooned with El Matador 43, good buddy of mine, love playing with him, and still in a platoon with J. Ross and 14. And this one ends up being an encounter battle, so on Highway Encounter, the two teams tend to spawn in B2 and J2, respectively, basically those areas of the map. And the flag sits at Echo 9 on the far east side of the map there. So essentially, you have two choices with Highway Encounter. You can turn towards the enemy spawn and attack them directly, or you can try and beat them to the flag and start fighting it out there. Highway Encounter is one of those game modes that I feel is extremely lopsided for one main reason, and that's that the team that spawns in the south has free passageway to the enemy flag, allowing them to get a positional advantage on the flag without having to take an exposed route to get there, unlike the north spawn, which has to cross the river, go across the plains, and through the little hangars up in the northeast there in the B7, B8 sector, the whole time potentially being exposed to shots if an enemy scout or well-equipped medium tank gets into the E5, E6 sector, spotting them and opening them up to sniper shots. Meanwhile, the team in the south has a free pass there, like I said, just going through the town, completely protected from such maneuvers. But what can you do? It's not all peaches and cream and water tanks all the time, so you just make do with it. Matador in a T-54, the other Russian Tier 9 medium tank, and J. Ross 14 in the VK-45 Bravo, the Tier 9 German heavy tank, the one right before the mouse. Very, very strong frontally armored heavy tank, the VK-45 Bravo, so it was nice having some well-armored heavy tank backup in this game, and the few games before and after as well. Now, the Object 430 Type 2 doesn't have a heck of a lot of gun depression, 4 degrees of gun depression, so I'm really not in the ideal fighting situation with this tank, but we're sticking with one of our teammates' medium tanks, this M48 Patton, which does have strong gun depression. And me and Matador, we decided if we come across only one or two tanks, we'll just swoop in, start bullying them at close range if we can, without taking too much damage, and let the Patton just peek over the hills and get some more long-range support shots into them. However, upon coming up to this next hill, we see that one of the tanks we've come across is a T-110E3. Very, 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 very balanced Tier 10 United States tank destroyer. So we decided the rushing is out of the question until we deal with this E3, either through artillery support or delicious heat round spam. One or the other. So the Wheezy 111 1-4 Tier 9 Chinese heavy tank. We decide he'll be our second target once we deal with this E3 nice and quickly, as the Wheezy 111 is trying to play some peekaboo over the hill, but he has 3 degrees of gun depression, so we decided he's not really going to be a major issue. Not right away here, anyways. Enemy Batchat artillery gets a good whack on me and takes out about a third of my HP, so that was lovely. Thanks, artillery. So with the enemy, with the two friendly heavies, Matty and the friendly in the 48 Patton, just going for it, rushing the E3 right after he fires. I just hung back, got a couple extra heat round shells into the E3's sides, allowing us to take him out nice and quickly. Trying my darndest to get a damaging shot on this Wheezy 111, just failing miserably. Delicious side armor. But we're able to finally take him down after our Patton takes a couple shots from him. Unfortunately, I was not able to mitigate the damage that our 48 Patton suffered there, as I was just not aiming my shots well at all, resulting in that Wheezy 111 1-4 getting about 2 or 3 damaging hits on our friendly Patton. Pulling forward, this flank is completely undefended. I spot the enemy Batchat artillery, and I want him gone. He has annoyed me this game, so I get a nice damaging hit, just barely clipping the rear of his hull as he's trying to escape. Matador, with a nice leading shot with his T-54, is able to finish him off for his last few hit points there. So myself, Matador, 48 Patton, starting to head into the west side of the town here on Highway, thinking we're going to come up behind their main attacking force, start putting shots into the rear, maybe split up their attacking force, hoping to break up the action going on there and just relieve some of the pressure off of our friendly heavies that are fighting it out with them head on right now, as they are grossly outgunned. So we simply head down to the east side of the map, right on the tape, and we figure we're going to head down the 0 line on the map, down the street here, and get in behind the enemy position and just start dumping some shells into their backsides. Like I said, hoping to try and either pull them away or just get some of them to focus on us, or just get some kill shots on them. First tank we come across, M48 Patton. A couple shots miss on him. Not sure where they went, but it looks like one of them might have hit this Jagdtiger, so the Jagdtiger starts pulling away, trying to reposition. I'm still able to get a side shot on the Jagdtiger, and that's when the enemy T-54 gets spotted. Matty, with a nice shot into his side armor, is able to take him out. Finally giving us a slight edge in the fight here. We are now up 7-6, so me and Matty decide let's close in, kind of even up the score going on at this main battle going here, as we lost quite a lot of our heavy tanks with that push. Enemy Mouse takes out another one of our heavy tanks, making it 7-7 right now. But I'm able to put our score back on top again, 8-7, by taking out the VK-45 Bravo with a heat round into the side of its turret. And that's when the Jagdtiger gets in a really good position, starts fighting at me and Matador there. But with some good old-fashioned 330 pen heat spam into its lower plate, we're able to take out the Jagdtiger fairly quickly and without suffering too much damage. Fortunately, Matador is still pretty exposed here. I got in his way while I was trying to side scrape and draw some fire off of him. So I almost cost him his tank's life right there. M48 Patton trying to hide behind some enemy some of his friendly destroyed tanks, but I'm able to put a shot right in that gun port on the top. Can't get a shot on this IS-8 hiding behind the dead Jagdtiger, so I decide I'm just gonna ignore him, pull away, try and back up my platoon mates over here. That's when I realize Matador actually did get taken out. I see the enemy STB-1 hill poking. I auto-lock him. Get a really lucky shot on the STB-1, taking him out of the game. And immediately after that, I take 2 bad hits from the enemy E-100 and another tank behind him. Bouncing a shell off the IS-8, though, getting another lucky bounce from the M48 Patton. Trying to get past this E-100 here, or make him just totally miss his shot, but it was not meant to be. IS-8 comes behind me, finishes off my game right there. Putting them up on the score 11-10 again, with their 4 heavy tanks and top-tier medium against one of our bottom-tier heavies, artillery, TD, and a medium tank. Unfortunate team collapse there. It was a pretty even game, and then the other team was able to just pick our guys off like flies, one by one. But I was able to end up with 3,092 total damage dealt, 3 tanks knocked out, 823 base XP. Not too bad on a loss there. I wasn't complaining about that one bit. And definitely a great game by our friendly E100 with just under 5,500 damage dealt there. This last game I wanted to share with you guys, encounter battle on Abbey here. This time I am platooned with Grizzly 22, Double O Vend, and Don Thomo. You may know him as Ben from the Beard Guys. He runs his own YouTube channel. Great World of Tanks Xbox YouTube channel. If you check out my main page, you can see a link to him in my other World of Tanks Xbox channels feed there. Go check out his channel. Be sure to drop him a line. I believe he actually uploaded this game himself on his channel from his perspective. It was a pretty quick game. It just wound up being an absolute crushing victory, and you can see right away why that is, because we're looking at it, and right off the bat we see we are very, very, very top tier. There are only 3 other tier 9s on the other team: an E-75, VK-45 Bravo, and a Jagdtiger. Still 2 enemy tier 8 artillery, which could be a problem. If we give them easy targets, they could very easily end our game. But for the most part, we decide, hey, it's encounter. Let's just turn towards them, drive straight at them, and absolutely bully them into oblivion. So myself, Grizzly, and Ben, we all turn towards the enemy spawn, immediately head to the south. Grizzly just barely able to keep up with us in his Chinese Tier 9 heavy tank, the Weezen 111 1-4. Actually a very, very mobile heavy. The Chinese heavies themselves are all quite mobile compared to other heavy tanks of the same tier from different nations there. I almost pit maneuvered that Object 468 and had to stop right in front of Ben there. Kind of halting our momentum a little bit, but upon side-scraping around the corner, we still don't really see anything spotted, so I try to get a bit of a better position, get in a bit of a forward spotting, see if I can spot what's coming our way. All we see, though, is a little T-71 coming our way. I totally missed my shot on him. Grizzly able to get a nice damaging hit on that T-71 before he is able to peel away and escape from us. Pulling forward, see an enemy Tiger 2 in front of us. Another heavy tank pops up, a Tier 7 T-29, and at this point I know, okay, we can just keep pushing and just slam our faces right into these guys, hoping to catch that T-71 before he can escape and take him out of the game once and for all. Double O Vend also looking our way with his artillery from our platoon. A couple quick coordinated shots, and the first T-29 takes it out very quickly. Second T-29 not far behind in falling down from there. So Ben goes for it, playing very aggressive, and not sure what happened with his Tiger 2. He quite possibly lagged out, knocking him down to one shot there. Ben starts face-hugging this E-25 from the back here. I bounced a really brilliant shot off of Ben's backside. I saw artillery in the distance, but felt we could deal with them later. Completely ignoring this Tiger P, just waiting until the Tiger P fires so that I can turn my turret towards the E-25, shoot the E-25, and then turning my hull back towards the Tiger P to bounce another shot from him. Good shot right into the turret face of the Tiger P, knocking him down to a 2-shot, bouncing a shot off him. The second shot, not very well aimed, but thankfully my teammates come through, able to take him out nice and quickly, and the steamroll train just keeps on chugging. This train ain't got no brakes. Pulling forward, this is when we see the enemy Jagdtiger right on top of the normal spawn in standard battles. I preloaded some heat shells, even though I had a side shot on him, expecting to have to deal with him frontally as I peek over the hill, but our friendly artillery in the M12 is able to just decimate him for over 1,200 damage, taking that Jagdtiger out of the game very effectively. Just an absolute monster hit by the enemy M12, or the friendly M12. Sorry. Pulling forward, we still see some enemy tanks over by the hill, so we decide it's time to go support our main push over there. Seeing a VK-45 Bravo sitting just inside the hill, contesting with our other friendlies that are stacked up all on the hill. Nice side shots in this VK-45 Bravo. Got a good shot into his ammo rack there, just before he gets blown up by Grizzly and his sniping Chinese heavy. One more heavy tank here in the flag, Tiger 2. Object 416 drawing its attention around behind him, circling in behind him, so the coordinated fire between myself, Ben, Object 416, and Grizzly takes out the Tiger 2 really quickly. We're still getting some support from our teammates that are following us, leaving 2 more enemy heavy tanks back on our spawn. Enemy Tier 8 T-32 heavy tank and the E-75 that is down to half health. So seeing the E-75 heavily damaged, me and Ben decided to load up heat, and I said to Ben, let's focus on the E-75. He's a much weaker target right now. So a couple quick shots from me and Ben takes out the E-75 very quickly and handily indeed. I was more than happy to eat the shot from the E-75 as I was still very, very healthy in my tank here. And this T-32 just in a horrible situation, completely surrounded by multiple medium tanks and a scout, getting shots in all his sides and rear. Just not much he could do in that situation, so we were able to just buzzsaw right through him and finish him off very quickly. Really good game had by everybody. A very quick game had by everybody, naturally. I was able to bag a Confederate medal that game. 3,397 damage dealt. Base XP of 1323. Ben himself did a great job in his T-54 that game as well. 45-14 total damage dealt. Great game had by all. So that's some Object 430 version 2 games. Hope you enjoyed them, and I'll see you next time. Mobius Y signing out.